love. You know, it's an intense feeling of affection and concern toward another human being. Me, I haven't been in love.
Come on, man, not that speech again, please.
I am doing this to honor them.
Where are you?
I can't go through with it. I'm sorry, I thought I could.
Come on, hon, I love you.
I love you too, but I want out. I want out of all of it.
And you know better than anybody that's not possible.
Well, we found your runaway bride.
Why don't you just kick in the doors?
Look at us. We are gentlemen. Clearly, she is not going to make this easy on us. Where is that beautiful bride?
She's somewhere in here.
No shit. A wedding, that is one thing. But you said you wanted out. Nobody gets out. You just don't decide you want to have a normal life.
You're gonna regret this.
We got a bridezilla killer on the loose.
Bang!
You know, he told us not to hurt you.
Oh, that's nice.
The game has changed.
Man, this is some bullshit. Oh, wow. You ready for round two?
Are you ready?
I'll show you what made me the Golden Gloves champion of my community.
Well, welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by filmmaker Timothy Woodward, whose film Til Death Do Us comes out August 4th in theaters. How are you doing?
I'm doing incredible. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So, first of all, I would like to know, getting the lead, Natalie Byrne, for the role, because I think that would be a hard character to find the right person for, because he has to be a leading, actress, but also believable in the role.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very lucky to have her in the project. And, I actually got sent this script from Chad Law a few years ago, and I looked at it, but I didn't kind of go for it. I just kind of glanced at it. And Natalie, I'd been looking for something to collaborate with her on. And she sent it to me and said, "You've got to read this." And I read it and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect for her. She's going to be great in this because she has a ballerina background and martial arts, and, she can really do this." So very lucky to have her on it. And, she agreed and said, "Yeah, let's rock and roll." So here we are.
So had you worked with her before then?
Yeah, and she had done a small part for me in a movie that I did called Vanished. It was an A&E film. And then I do this show, Studio City, that I won an Emmy for. And she had a part on that, playing like an action star, who's playing herself kind of in a way, because it's a very meta show. So smaller stuff, never like a lead in this capacity, though.
Yeah. Had you done a lot of directing for like action scenes? Because the movie's very action heavy.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'd done some previously where I've done some action. I've done some explosions. I did some other stuff. With this one, what made it special is we had a lot of people who have martial arts backgrounds and backgrounds in action and who were able to do their own stuff. So literally almost every single person is doing their own stunts. Every person is doing, we were able to go in wide shots and do a lot of things with the choreography that we couldn't do if we didn't have people who were well-versed in action and who wanted to do it.
Yeah, I could tell that watching. I have my notes because you don't cut away from the action. I was like, I think everyone's doing their own stunts.
Yeah, for
which
sure.
really adds to the brutality of the movie.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I'm glad you noticed that.
Yeah. So when I said it's coming out August 4th, have you seen it with an audience before that?
No, I haven't seen it with a real audience yet, so I'm very excited. I saw it with, a handful of people at some, select screenings when we're testing the DCP, and we have to screen it for the distributor and stuff like that, but I haven't seen it with an audience yet. So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah. And those people know you, so you can't necessarily trust their
Exactly.
thoughts. Yeah.
I want to see it with a crowd of people that don't know anything about it.
Yeah. So I like the score in the movie because the beginning, it's almost like a Lifetime movie. It's very charming and it's all nice. And then I also think you use really interesting contrasting music for the action scenes, a lot of old timey music.
Yeah. That was the idea from the start was, having a rom-com gone bad, starting off like a 1990s Julia Roberts rom-com, but what if the groomsmen wanted to kill her, or Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? And what if the, dwarfs wanted to kill Snow White? And it's, that was the idea, was to do stuff that was very contrasting. And, I had from the beginning a playlist from Apple Music picked out for the cast to listen to, so I could let everyone know this is kind of where we're at, from Frank Sinatra to Bobby Day, Bobby Darin, all these people, because it's like that bubble gum, bubble, kind of goes with horror already. And I was thinking, well, in action, instead of going dun 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 dun, let's go Rockin' Robin, tweedly, and then have fun while it's going to mix it up and have a good time. So, that's, the music is a very big part of that. The record player is a big part of it. We wanted it to disappear and kind of come in as needed, but there's always a track continuously playing, even if it's very, very low. But it kind of just, for your conscience, we kind of lift and play with the volume as needed.
Did you get all the music you had in mind when you're putting it together?
A lot of it. Yeah. Our songs, it sounded very similar too, but a lot of the feel that I wanted, for sure. The only thing that I didn't really get that I wanted a lot originally was during the chainsaw scene, I had Meatloaf's "I Will Do Anything for Love" playing, and I didn't get that. But I pulled all the music out of that, and it was actually pretty radical just on its own.
Yeah.
To breathe. But yeah, originally I had that big, and I would do, just blowing up during that.
Oddly enough, I graduated in '94, and that was the theme song at our prom. Was I would do anything for
yeah. So that was going to be the thing for the chainsaw scene, was Meatloaf and just hitting the chorus right when everything goes down. But I didn't get that, and it kind of became a cool thing because I took the music out of it. The whole time I was editing it, I had that song in there and I stuck to it. When I pulled the music out, I was like, damn, this is kind of brutal with just nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So when you mentioned the Seven Dwarfs for the groomsmen, so were they cast with that in mind? Is one of them sort of grumpy and one of them Doc, or?
Yeah, they had it was just the idea of having contrasting people. The Seven Dwarfs are a little more metaphorical, but I wanted to have, for example, the idea of when I met Pancho Mueller, he was a comedian on stage, and I was like, what if this guy, has he's called T-Bone for a reason. You know what I mean? He's just the ladies' man. He thinks he's 7 foot tall, 250 pounds, and can whip anybody's ass. And he's walking around, and he's got this other big guy who calls himself Big Sexy and names himself that. And they're kind of the contrasting fun. And then you've got Orlando Jones, doing his thing, and he's already naturally funny. And then you have the head of that, you have Cam Gigante, who's just suave, and he's just having a blast dancing, and just. His whole idea is to be the best man possible. And this best man speech, he's just fucking working on it the entire time, and having other stuff going on besides just the A story of we've got to get her. That was interesting to me.
Yeah, and it keeps them not just a faceless group of thugs or something, because each one has their own personality.
Yeah, and I was trying really hard to do that because, in the script, no one really has a name. It's groomsmen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I tried to nickname a couple of them T-Bone and Big Sexy, and then give everybody their own contrasts and conflicts that were outside of the A plot. So they were, having some beef outside amongst themselves. So, a good example of that is T-Bone and Big Sexy constantly arguing. And I love the idea I came up with, the last minute, having them get to the back door, open the door, and she's right there, and they just do nothing. And then shuts the door in their face. And they say, what the fuck just happened? We had her, and they're blaming each other. And it was just like a good moment to break away, so it doesn't stay on this straight dun 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 path. So I was trying to do as much of that as possible to just keep it kind of bending and keeping on doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Pancho. I've had him on the show a few times. I've met him. He's a really funny guy in person, and I'm always happy to see him pop up in anything.
Yeah, he's great, man. He was such a trooper. I mean, he did that. He did the kick across the room where he gets kicked across the room. He did that himself, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He got pulled and everything. So he was a trooper, man.
So producer Jeffrey Riddick, who you've worked with before, creator of Final Destination, when you worked with him, was that the first time you worked with him on the call?
No, I did it. Worked with him on The Final Wish that he wrote actually first. That was our first film together. Call was second. This was third. So 3 times now.
So did you just like hit it off right away? Like, you know, we should do stuff together?
Immediately. I actually emailed him because I was a huge fan of Final Destination. It came out like when I was in high school, and it's like and then after high school it became even bigger. And I was like, I just graduating. And I was like, you know, I loved his work, and I became his Facebook friend, and I wrote him asking him, hey, do you have any scripts? And he was like, no, not really, you know, at first. And then I did this movie called Gangsterland. It was a 1920s, like machine guns, Tommy guns going off and everything. And I sent him the trailer for that. And then he's like, yeah, I've got a script or 2 available. And, you know, he saw that work, and then we just hit it off immediately. And, you know, he liked my style and I liked his, and we're not only good friends, but we, you know, collaborate frequently. So I called him immediately when I optioned this script and said, you know, I want you to come on board of this. You know, it's got action, it's got a lot of different stuff than your typical horror. It's a very different movie, but I want you to be involved.
Yeah, that's cool. Cause, you know, I assume, you know, people get message a lot and you don't know really, you don't want to be rude to somebody and be like, no, I don't have anything for you. But then once he saw like you were talented, he was like, oh yeah, we can do something.
So it was cool.
Yeah. Now the gore is really cool. And I think something that's overlooked a lot of times in gore is the sound effects. And there's a lot of squishy sounds, which I enjoy a lot in the movie.
Nice. Yeah. We went in and played with a lot of that stuff. We added stuff in there that was like not even, you know, human. Like we added some stuff in there. Like if you really break it down, it was like, you know, not even like a human sound. And like, you know, there's like a squishy, like a squish pack that I went in and just wobbled around, like just this squishy with like cream in it. And it just made this weird noise. Like we went in front of the mic and just added that. So we added a lot of organic sounds with some of the canned sounds that just make it feel like really off in certain places. So that was fun.
Yeah, I loved it. And I think it'd be very fun to watch on the big screen. Because another thing overlooked, obviously a big screen's cool, but you get the sound around you too. You're fully immersed in the movie.
Yeah. That was, you know, when she's walking across the roof, we did the footsteps, and, you know, we did a lot of panning that you can't hear unless you're in the movie theater, with the record player being downstairs and being below, and, you know, the sound effects coming in and people walking around. We did a lot of stuff playing with that because it was upstairs, downstairs, all around. So we did a lot of cool stuff with that, with the mix.
All right, very cool. So Till Death Do Us Part, August 4th in theaters. Where can people like look it up to see what theater, you know?
They can go on fandango.com. You know, showtimes are already starting to pop up now. There'll be a lot more next week as we get closer, and they'll keep coming. The fandango.com is good, is a good place to check it. I think we have a website too, which is like Till Death Movie or Film.com. I think it's Till Death Film. Till Death Do Us Part Film.com is also a place they can check it out. Yeah.
All right, very cool. And congrats on the movie. I really enjoyed it, and I think it'd be really fun to watch in a theater with people.
Thank you so much, man. I'm really glad. We just need to help spreading the word. You know, it's an indie film. It's a true indie film. There's no major studio behind this, and it's just a lot of passion. So even though we're getting a theatrical release in a couple hundred theaters, we need people to spread the word and tell people so we can keep it going.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said it's a weird time right now, and indie is a very broad term, and maybe some people use it that maybe not necessarily are true indie, but
we're true indie all the way through. Yeah, we have a truly independent distributor that has no ties to studios, and we are, you know, this was made on true independent money, and you know, we barely had any, and we did the best we could. So we hope people will come out and support us.
All right, thanks for doing this.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Come join the team. easily. You might just say, holy sheep. Evil phantom spirits, lost souls in waves. The time has come, we're gonna make 'em pay. 14 ghosts, so spooky and obscene. 14 ghosts, they're all purple and green. 14 ghosts, one better than 13. 14 ghosts, do you know what I mean? Back off, man, I'm no scientist. These apparitions seem real pissed. Let's cross the streams, we'll have a blast. Time to smoke weed and kick ghost ass. Alright! Go!